to start with, first of all, Office of the Data Protection Commissioner is a regulatory office that established through Data Protection Act of 2019, which means the office is barely 5 years old right now. And in that case now, the same act provides a specific mandate to this office, which includes regulating the processing of personal data, ensuring that this processing is compliant with the principles outlined in the act, and also make sure there's protection of privacy of individual, as well as establishing a legal mechanism where personal data is protected, and in case there's a violation, individuals can able to raise their issues, especially lodging a complaint to the office. So those is basically the mandate under the act. When it comes to, as I've said, from 2019 up to now, the office has achieved a number of achievements, whereby, of course, establishing a full operational office itself is an achievement, and we have also able to establish a number of regional presence, whereby we have office in Mombasa, this office in Kisumu, another office in Eldoret, another one in Nakuru, and also Machakos, Nyeri, even in Garissa we have presence in Huduma Center. So those are regional presence that has already been established to make sure at least the service come closer to the individual in terms of privacy of personal data. So those are actually our presence as right now. There will be more that of course will come in terms of making sure there's service closer to the citizens. Now, in terms of maybe the challenge that we have, I think I would like to ask ourselves even right now, do we know where our data is? Even at personal level right now, we normally complain about my data is being misused, my data is doing, this company is doing this and this, they're sending me messages, this has happened to me. But starting with yourself, this is your data, this is your information, your data, your ID number, your name, your health record, all these things. Do we know where they are? How many online services have you subscribed to? How many online account have you created that you don't use? How many places have you gone and given your data for without even asking why that data is required? So those are, I think, the fundamental questions that we need to ask ourselves. That is, of course, it is also challenging to the regulator, whereby yes, it's supposed to start with at individual level to make sure yes, I have to at least know, just own this data, make sure where they are, when I'm subscribing to maybe an online service, when I'm signing up for terms and conditions that we don't read, and then later come again and complain because someone has misused. I think it's supposed to start with that individual level, whereby we have to know where our data is, whether digital or manual. When you go to a place and someone asks for ID, you just give it to him, and go to the building, do your things. You can even stay for even hours there. You don't know what this ID has been used for. Come back and take your ID and go. See, at least you have to start and ask yourself, why do they need my ID? This is my personal data. And at least from there, they can explain to you. Maybe they require it for some legitimate purpose. So that is the fundamental question that every one of us need to ask ourselves to make sure our privacy is safeguarded. Putting that aside, looking at what's provided under maybe, let's say, from the government perspective, is that there's already a legal framework in place to protect your privacy. There's Act of Parliament, that Data Protection Act of 2019. There's already established Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, where you can raise if you have any privacy violations. Now, from this legal framework, at individual level, you have rights as pertaining your personal data. And from the other side of maybe the organizations and entities that collect personal data, they have what is called compliance obligation. There are a number of obligations that they need to meet to make sure they protect the data that they have collected. This includes the first part is that, as per the law, it is not allowed for personal data to be collected without what is called a lawful basis. Lawful basis means you must have a legal reason as to why you are collecting personal data. For example, a good example is you have to seek maybe permission, which is called consent. a consent is very weak point, but however, it's one of the legal bases that maybe an organization or entity can rely on to collect personal data. However, this is conditional, whereby it has to meet a number of criteria to be valid consent. This condition includes it should be informed, that I should inform that I'm going collecting your ID number, your name, your this and this and this for this purpose. I'm going to use it for this way. I'm going to share it this way. So you have to be at an individual level. You have a right to be informed, and that's now one condition for a consent to be valid. Another one is it should be freely given. When you are maybe induced, maybe you are given a token or some money for you to allow them to protect to collect your personal data, that now fails to their consent. I think that's now a clear indication that maybe this aspect of WorldCoin has failed because of that inducement of money and those things. So that is a starting point for organizations to make sure whenever they process personal data, there's established an appropriate lawful basis that enable them to process personal data. I think from my own understanding, the law is very clear what needs to be put in place to make sure privacy is protected. But the challenge lies at individual level, whereby even if I need a service, at least you have to know your right as well in pertaining privacy of yourself. Because once you expose yourself, once you give your data, and you have not even care about the usage and where it will be stored and who will going to access and where it will be shared with, that's the challenge where now we need to, I think, resolve from that point, so that at least this legal framework that's being put in place can help us to even protect our privacy safeguards. Yes.
Umeona hatari namna ambayo tunajitia sisi wenyewe kwa mikono yetu, ambapo moja ni apps ambazo watu tunazidownload katika simu zetu. Unaishia kwamba unapeana taarifa zako muhimu, hujui hata unampatia nani hizi taarifa, lakini kwa sababu unataka ile app kuitumia, basi wewe unaenda unajibu tu, unajibu female, male, 38 years old, sijui married, not married, with children na nini. So wewe unapeana, kumbe kuna information ambayo
una accept paka voice recording.
Paka voice recording, yes. By the way,
your messages, your personal messages, but una accept zile zote.
Kwa hivyo simu hizi ambazo tunazitumia sasa zipo kwenye tuko katika hatari kubwa sana ya kwamba tunapeana habari zetu muhimu za ndani kwa mikono yetu sisi wenyewe. Hiyo ni moja. Amezungumza pia kwamba kuna mahali kuna ofisi fulani ukienda unaandikisha, alafu unaambiwa lete kitambulisho. Unaacha badala ushaandikisha ya kwamba jina langu Omar Abud Said, nambari yangu ya kitambulisho ndio hii hapa 123456, alafu nimetia saini, alafu bado lete
ukasema time ya kuingia.
Alafu na kitambulisho namwachia yeye askari pale. Na kama alivyosema Alikher ni kwamba huenda uka hapo ndani saa moja au masaa mawili. Sasa wacha kwa muda wote huo, muda wa dakika 5 tu, kitambulisho chako kikiwa na mtu dakika 5, unajua ana uwezo wa kufanyia mambo mangapi na kile kitambulisho. Kwa hivyo sisi wenyewe kwa mikono yetu ambapo hupeana zile taarifa zetu muhimu, alafu ndo tukaja tukalaumu baadaye, baada ya kuwa tumeshapeana bila ya kujua ama kwa kujua. Alafu sasa likitokea la kutokea ndio baadaye. Na ni kweli unakuta mtu anakuambia bwana nitumiwa message bwana, kuna hii namba ya tuma message hapa, alafu utaona mtu amekutumia message, wewe bwana sio umesajiliwa kwenye hii, wakati wewe mwenyewe hujafanya ule usajili. Unatumiwa. Sasa unashangaa ni vipi, lakini kuna taarifa ambazo pengine umepeana kwa mikono yako wewe mwenyewe.
Bila shaka, lakini sasa kuna wale wote ambao wanatusikiza hivi sasa ambao hawajajua ya kuwa kuna hizi repercussions ambazo uko likely kuface after umepatiana information yako.